The game of getting when truth interrupts the dream. Let's not pretend like this is somebody else's issue. Let's not pretend like we haven't all in some way been caught up in it, because we have, all of us. There's a part of us that remembers something real, something quiet beneath the noise. A stillness we don't talk about, a glimpse that comes through like a glitch in the matrix. You know what it is when it hits. It doesn't need explanation. It doesn't ask for belief. It just is. And when it comes, it interrupts the show. So let's pause the show for a moment, together. Let's look at this whole setup, not from the outside, but from within. The accumulation illusion. We've all felt it. That chase, that reach, that grind. Once I get this deal closed, once I get that check, once I sleep with her, once I hit that number, once I move downtown, once I drive that Benz, we call it success. We call it security. We even call it God's favor. But here's the thing. In the chase, nobody stops to ask, then what? We just keep piling it up. Houses, cars, trips, watches, clothes. And at some point, whether we admit it or not, the question creeps in. What am I actually going to do with all this? But the answer never comes, because the game isn't designed to be completed. It's designed to keep you playing. The trap inside the trophy. Even when the goal is reached, there's no rest. Because then comes the next trap, holding on. And if it slips away, now we live in memory. Oh, I used to have that. I used to be somebody. I had 10 bands down on that crib. Back when I was living the life. Now we're haunted by past versions of ourselves, measuring our worth by what we used to possess. Still playing the game, just backwards. And the weight of it, it's heavy. Not just physically, but spiritually. You feel it in your chest, in your sleep, in your relationships, because the pursuit itself is tension, and tension can't coexist with peace, the make-believe kingdom. Now here's where it really opens up. We don't just collect things, we give them meaning, deep meaning. This house means I made it. This car proves I'm respected. This money shows I'm safe. But the foundation of all of it is belief. Not truth, not eternity, just belief. And belief changes. It shifts with mood, with trends, with opinions. Which means everything we build on it is like trying to set a mansion on fog. And yet we call this life. But what if we've just gotten really, really good at playing the game of make-believe, the great disappearance? When death comes, and it will, there won't be a you to know what happens next. No cars, no kids, no titles, no nostalgia. All those hours spent calculating, protecting, worrying, planning. For what? Because in that moment, there is no world. And as much as people say they love you now, when you're gone, you're gone. Grief turns into paperwork. Ashes turn into division. And the stuff? It goes to strangers or a storage unit. We spend our lives trying to distribute meaning, only to realize it was never ours to keep. Why this ain't nihilism? Now pause. Because someone might hear all this and say, well, that sounds hopeless. That sounds dark. That sounds like nothing matters. But let's be clear. This ain't nihilism. This is freedom. Nihilism says there's no meaning, but truth says you gave it all the meaning it ever had. That's not despair, that's liberation. Because if you gave it the meaning, you can also give it back. You can return everything you ever borrowed from the world and remember you were whole before any of it came. You don't have to hustle to earn your worth. You don't have to grind to prove your value. You don't have to beg God like he's withholding something. Love has no hoops. What if peace was never something to get, but something we stopped resisting? The silent revival. So no, this isn't a sermon. It's not a doctrine. It's not one person seeing and another person not. It's just truth. Self-evident. Quiet. Like a bell that rings without needing permission. Some will hear this and shrug, but a few, just a few, will feel that quiet click inside. And when it happens, you don't go back. You don't have to argue it. You don't have to defend it. You just live it. No more chasing. No more proving. No more holding your breath until the blessing comes. The tent is open. No smoke, no show. Just stillness. And the truth, it's already yours.